Hello church family, it's Rachel here. I hope you're all doing well. I just wanted to share with you a very personal story today, which I hope will be of encouragement to some people. About 2 years ago, my family experienced a time of real sorrow. My mother lost two of her sisters within a very short period of time who were living in the States. And one of her older sisters, she died quite suddenly. And I was living in the UK at the time with my husband. My family was in Australia, and we had to make a very quick decision of do we go and be with our family in Georgia during this time. Now my husband and I hadn't shared with anyone, but we just found out that I was pregnant. I was 6 weeks pregnant at that time. And I made the decision to actually go to the States and be with my family during this time. And when I got off the plane, I found out that not only had my aunt suddenly passed away, but her husband, my uncle, had passed away as well. So my cousins lost both their parents in a 2-day period. And it was a time of real sorrow for our family, but I was just grateful that we could all kind of be there at that time together. But it was a time when it makes you just question everything and really kind of shakes your foundation. When I was coming back, flying back to the UK, I actually miscarried on the plane. So it was quite shocking and quite upsetting. And when I arrived in the UK, obviously I was having to process the tragedy we had back in America, but also what was happening with me personally as well, with my body. And so we had 3 deaths in a period of a week. And that was a time of real sorrow and real questioning. And if I'm to be honest, it really challenged my faith. And I'm sharing this story with you because maybe there's someone here watching who you're in a time of real loss. You're in a time of sorrow. You're in a time of questioning, how can any good come from this? I know, because that was the question I asked during this time. When you go through something that totally strips you and you think, okay, God, where are you in this? But I can say this, perspective is a wonderful thing. But during that time, God honestly never left my side. And it might seem weird to say that, but I can say that every moment of grief that I had, God met me with compassion. Every moment of doubt that I had, God met me where I was. And this is the same God, the same Jesus who showed up when Lazarus died and he cried. This is the same Jesus that when he showed up to the disciples' house after he'd risen, he said, hey, where's Thomas? That guy who doubted. Where is he? Let me talk to him. Let me show him my hands. And I love that. I actually love that about him because he will always meet you where you're at. And if you are in a period of loss right now, of grief, can I just encourage you that God has something greater for you? May I just encourage you that joy does actually come in the morning? That God is good, not just at the end of it, not just that there's a rainbow at the end, but he's good through it as well. And that it can really reveal him to such a fresh way if you allow it and if you ask the right questions and you just get real with him. So for Easter, going back to where we're at now, what it really means for me is a time of renewal and rebirth and relaunch. I know that God's not done yet with whatever it is that's happening. I know that the God that saw me go through those really sad times 2 years ago is the same God that 3 months later revealed to us a very big surprise gift in the form of a positive pregnancy test. And I now have an 18-month-old Michael who's being held up in the other room so I can record this without distraction. And he's not just a God of promise, he's not just a God of miracle, but he's a God that will see you through those times. And I can tell you there is joy on the other side. I can tell you that there is hope and much divine love on the other side of this, even if you're not feeling it right now. What we thought was the end was actually just the beginning, just as it was when Jesus was crucified. In Romans 5:8 it says, but God showed his great love for us by sending Christ to die for us while we were still sinners. He's a God of great love. He's a God that gives. He's the God that shows up no matter where you are. So today, be encouraged by that. And my family, where we're at today now, we wouldn't be the family we are today if we had not been through what we did those 2 years ago. So wherever it is you're at now, I just want to say God's got something greater for you on the other side, but He'll meet you where you're at right now. Much love and happy Easter.